Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do sort of a tour of my fish tanks. So this is my newer one, so this is an upgrade on the 125 I had. So this one isn't really stocked at all. I've got a common bristlenose, the ancestor CF cirrhosis. He is in his cave there, and he was in the previous video, but you never see much of him anyway. So this tank is very sparsely stocked because I've got a convention in a few weeks, so I'm kind of waiting to see what I get. I have got some fish already that I've paid for. So I also have Corridor Sedalis, and I do want kind of some more Sedalis. I'm not really sure because corridors aren't entirely my thing. So you can kind of see him. I'm just gonna see if it'll focus. One of them there. So this does have a lot of banjo catfishing, and they're going to be hell to find. I also have a magnum plex, so if I just zoom out. So if I go around the corner, you can see he is there. And I'll put up some sort of videos of him. He looks really skinny and he's not. In that sort of shot, he's not actually skinny at all. So as I said, I do have a lot of banjo Bunocephalus SPP. So Columbiensis, Neri, and what's the other one? Coracoides. So they're in there. So this fish tank is run by 2 filters. So I have here, this is the Eheim Professional 4 Plus 250. So this has got kind of a backup filter. And on the other side, next to the Monstera, you can see, that's my Monstera delicosia. You can see that I have the Awaza Biomaster. I think this is the 350. The flow wasn't much different from the 600, so I thought, why not? And it's easier for me to actually open the pre-filter. So they're at different ends. I was meant to put the Eheim in the cabinet, but so much effort and it doesn't make much difference. So I do have a power head. So this is the Awaza one. I have no idea the model name, but it's their largest one, and it produces a lot of flow. It's over 1,000 litres, and you can see on the top, but I would like to get more flow in this tank. I do have a heater that's the Eheim 150 watts. I do want to get a bigger wattage. It's just because of when I was transferring over everything, I didn't have a large enough heater. Actually, it can't be. Oh, I thought I had a bigger filter, a bigger heater for that, so yeah. But it does the job, it just has to be on more. So this fish tank is water changed twice a week at 50%, because I like to get the whole volume of the tank done in a week. So, especially with Lorcarde, I think it's important. It does have pothos up the back, but not much. And I am thinking of other plants, but I find that because of my water changes, I don't have much nutrients and they tend to die off. So, yeah, and you can see all the plants are just Anubis. There's Anubis nana and normal Anubis, whatever it's called. So that's that tank, and I'm planning on stocking it, I don't know, and it is set at about 27 to 28 degrees centigrade. I don't know it in Fahrenheit. So yeah, the Anubis is quite old. Some of it is at least sort of 6 years, so you can see where it's died off. I kind of leave it. It's got blackbeard algae. I don't really care. It's just there to kind of give cover. And also changing colours, but it does, you can see new leaf renewal, and as the old ones die off, they tend to grow quite long like this one. So this is the second tank. This is a sort of my main tank that I film with, and this is, I call it my ancistrus tank. It does have Barancistrus xanthellus in it. So you can see at the back there's Satan Persia leucosticta, and I'll show a proper film of them. So they're sort of a bit dark at the moment. They do colour up and go through phases. Depends on who's dominant. The dominant one does have a very dodgy gilliperk there. So this one has, as I said, a lot of ancestors, and you, of course, you don't see them. You can kind of see one of my African knifefish. There's a Platystachys cotophorus, but the ancestors largely remain unseen. There is a ranunculus down there, and I think, oh, I can see sort of in the reflection another thing, but yeah, you can kind of see the reflection of my Baron Cichlids xantellus, but if nothing really comes out in this tank, and I don't expect it to. Just trying to see who I could find, but no, there is a lot of rabbit snails, and I kind of need to, I kind of don't want as many as I've got. They produce a lot of waste, let's say. So this tank again is water changed 50% twice a week, and it's at the same temperature, but around sort of 28 degrees centigrade. It has 2 external filters, so that is the Eheim Professional 4+ 600, the largest model, and next to it is the Awaza Biomaster 600, the largest model of that as well. So I clean all of my pre-filters every week, and the filters get changed, well, cleaned. I don't change filters because I don't use chemical filtration. I sort of do them, there's no really set time. As you can see, I get a lot of algae. I kind of leave it to it because I'm not fussed. Generally blackbeard is low nutrients, which I have a lot of, and it's kind of more natural to have algae. I don't get on the front of a glass, which doesn't bother me so much. If I can't see in, then I will clean it. So it does have pothos. You can see the roots, and they're just here. So this is golden pothos that is so dark, the variegation is non-existent, but they do survive in lower lights, and it kind of, you can see it grows better down there, but it doesn't really get as much of a light. It is filtered light. This again has Anubis, and it's mostly Nana and the other one. Behind the Pleco is another one. I don't know why it's got a white shoot actually. That probably that leaf, although it is getting pale, it probably won't survive. So this is from green Pleco. It's a long-fin ancestris, well, common bristlenose. So that's that tank, and throughout I'm showing videos, hopefully, of the different fish in the tank, because they're not going to come out when I'm standing in. I kind of have to creep up to them to find them. So this is the final tank, and I've turned off the filter because it's quite loud, but it is quite disgusting looking with algae. So this tank has nothing in it apart from trying to cycle bacteria. So it's been cycling probably a month, and I kind of leave it. I'm not too fussed on rushing it, so it's mostly just leaving the filter running. I'm going to change the filters, so just putting the filter media in another filter before I think about adding fish. But it was going to be a puffer tank. I was looking at red-eye puffers, just probably 1 or 2 a pair, or 1 or a male-female pair. But with rental, it's kind of like, I want a tank where the fish can kind of go together with the other fish, even on a short-term basis. So it's probably going to be like maybe even a banjo tank for my smaller ones, or possible breeding tank, quarantine, hospital. I know it's got plants in because I did plant it. I don't know the name of any of these apart from there's crypts. This is one that's not too common, but I have no idea, and it's not Bucephalandra, and it's not Anubis. Begins with an S. I have Amazon swords. Yes, they've got algae on. Yes, algae kind of hints that there's snails, because that ain't planaria, or better not be. But I haven't seen any. But as I said, it is cycling. It is a new tank. It's going to get algae. And I'm kind of leaving the algae to sort of grow and outcompete. That is my theory. It does have pothos at the back coming out. And the heater isn't on as it's cycling. In the future when I move, I will probably upgrade on this. But it's kind of like don't want to introduce like, oh, to my landlord, to any new landlords, oh, I have 3 aquariums that are all quite big, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's a difficult one. So yeah, that's sort of, I'm going to get probably criticised for my lack of aquascaping and care of algae, because it does look pretty foul. But it's just, the plants should be able to outcompete. I don't have any plant substrates. I'm just gonna, if the plants grow, they grow. If they don't, they don't. That's my general opinion of plants in aquariums. So depends what I put in there, because some fish I put in there will probably dig them up knowing what I'll choose. So yeah, so that's about it. I do have an outdoor setup, but I really want to sort it out for the spring. And I'm not really sure as to what to do with it. Looking at rental accommodation in the future, there will be a garden as well. So it's not like I won't have space, and it tends to be where because I do get offered a lot of rehomes. So a lot of people dump their goldfish and I end up with them for a temporary basis, so I can have them indefinitely, but I can then contact, say, my parents who have a much bigger pond, or someone else. So it's just so they don't have this, there's no rush like to get the animal a home. It should have a proper home. So that's kind of what it's for, but I would like to kind of go into fancies, but I keep saying it. Anyway, tonight I'm good. Well, I've made an Instagram account. It's Freshwater Ichthyology, and that will contain all of my fish keeping stuff. And my other Instagram account is more scientific, so I probably won't actually use that at all. If you want to follow it, do so. I'll probably put facts that I can't really put on YouTube, because sometimes it's a bit more difficult to give factual things, and I am not good at video editing. And anyway, so I'll stop rambling. Thank you for watching. If you like my videos, then yeah, thank you.